Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Love Beneath podcast. I'm your host, Minazia Sheikh Al-Islami. I am so back. Can I just tell you how this return happened? I will tell you everything in great detail. But I knew I was going to make my return. Every day I woke up, I said, is today the day? Is today the day? Is today the day? And I even made a few videos thinking, okay, this is going to be my return. And then I just didn't post it. And look how big Hestia is now. And then this morning I thought, nah, it's not it today. It's not it today. And then right now, it's 1:16 p.m. Central Time. Something in me was like, you're going to do it right now. Right now, you're doing it. So here I am. It was just busting through my body and my soul. So I'm so happy to be back. Let me tell you what happened. I was going through multiple things, but you know, an ego death. If you don't know what an ego death is a moment where you start to realize that the way that you're operating is not your actual authentic self, and your belief systems that you have consciously are not aligned with your authentic self. It's things that you have adopted to fit in, to feel good, to gain external validation, whatever the case may be. And so the work that I do with clients is we look at the shadow and the ego. So the way that I see it, and you know, if you've been listening or watching for a while, I don't claim to have the absolute truth. I'm just telling you what I believe, and you get to believe whatever you want to believe. So always just come with open ears, open hearts. Watch a cat running in the background the whole time. So the work that I do, we look at what has been praised in you growing up. That is what you elevate to be the ego, the front-facing self. And then whatever has been demonized, rejected, judged, you push down into the shadow. And then a crevasse, if you will, starts to form between the shadow and the ego. And the more that you shove down and the more that you elevate, now we're creating this rift that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had a really big rift at one time. And I have been working really, really hard to bridge that gap. And what I feel is happening on the earth right now, and I talk a lot about karmic cycles individually. There's karmic cycles on a collective scale that we're all moving through together. And what I believe, one of the karmic cycles on a collective scale that we're moving through is the light shining on the shadow. And what I mean by that is you go about your life and you're meeting people and you're having experiences that are really highlighting your subconscious belief systems, that are really triggering you, that are really sending you maybe into a spiral, the shadow begging to be seen. And agents of the light, people who are meant to be those teachers for you, sending a light, shining a light on that shadow. So I'm feeling that happening with me and with a lot of my clients in rapid time right now. I'm feeling lessons just happening way more quickly and way more intensely than before. And I do feel this is sort of a collective thing. And the other interesting thing about this, and I'll tell you more about what happened for me these last however many weeks I've been gone. One other interesting thing is that I'm noticing that people who are interested in personal development and who revel in karmic cycles, who are interested in moving through their karmic cycles and getting the most out of this life and really finding a powerful spiritual practice and elevating their spiritual side, enhancing their intuition, working on their intuitive abilities, people who are drawn to this, they're saying yes to these lessons, and it is absolute hell, and they're saying yes anyway. And those people, so if you resonate with this, it's really hard, but you have to know that it's leading you to all your dreams. It's leading you to amazing relationships, partnerships of all sorts. It's leading you to the most powerful, truthful connection to yourself. So it sucks, but you know that it's where you want to be and it's the only way to get to where you want to be. Adversely, I'm seeing a lot of people who are not into this kind of thing, or they're just gassed out. Maybe they were into it and they're like, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. And so they're saying no, they're doubling down on what they want to do. And the way that I see that coming out in people is, it's hard to describe how I see it, but I'm almost feeling sometimes that I'm no longer living in the same world as some people. And it's almost like we will be having a conversation and I'll be sort of saying a truth that I have in my heart, and they have just already rewritten that situation to fit what they want it to be. And it's almost like, did we both have that same experience? Because the way you're recounting it, and maybe I'm wrong, but doesn't seem like it was the same experience. So anyway, I'm sure you can fill in the blank with what you're experiencing with people as well. But I'm noticing that rift. I'm noticing that the people who are saying yes to the lessons, I am forming deeper and more powerful connections with those people. Like all my friendships and every other connection where people are saying, oh, this is an opportunity for me to be better. It's making us better too. We're in deeper connection together. And the friends that I have and the connections that I have where people are saying, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. It's just like kind of weird now. And I almost don't know how to traverse it anymore. We've come to a dead end. So I wanted to say all that because I know that this podcast, this show for a lot of people brings a lot of answers, and a lot of you write to me and tell me that, write to me, you send me letters to my P.O. box. A lot of you like DM me and stuff, and you'll say, I don't really know a lot of people in my area who are into this. So I really love to hear you talking about this stuff because it makes me feel really validated with what I'm experiencing. So that's why I felt called to share that, because yeah, how do you even talk about this to people unless they already kind of can feel what's going on? It's a little abstract unless you're already tapped into it. So I feel you. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, the comment section is a great place to meet people. So I've said this a million times, but a lot of people have found really powerful friendships through my containers and my offers and my social media and like the Love Beneath ecosystem. There's a lot of like-minded people. So always feel free to share in the comments below. And if you see a comment, you resonate with it, reply to them, get a connection going. We need connection. This shit is crazy. We need connection. And one more thing I want to say is, if you are someone who, when you are stressed, you isolate, you can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that, because the energy right now is so thick. It's so chaotic for so many reasons. And if you are sensitive to energy and you're isolating yourself, that's going to seep into you. You're going to be in your own echo chamber of suffering and just be spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. Please do not do that. Do not do that. Reach out to people. If you don't have anyone in your life that you feel like you can trust, that's why I'm saying, like, come leave a comment on this video. Like, look at past videos and comments. Like, reach out, connect with someone. Like, put yourself out there, because we cannot be isolated right now. This is not a time to be isolated. That's not going to work. So you cannot be that anymore. You got to come back to where everybody is. And, I'm not saying that I've never done that before. I totally understand what that feels like. So you got to push through, because if you've been doing it since childhood, it's really hard to break that, but you got to push through. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let me tell you about my ego and shadow integrating together. And this is one of the first times that I'm actually saying this out loud. So let me know if it doesn't make sense. Although I feel like I'm never making sense. And then so many of you are like, oh my God, that spoke to me. So I'm just going to trust. I'm just trusting now that that's all good. But my ego death / shadow ego canceling each other out, a lot of it has been around belonging and acceptance. I have always, and I know so many of you are going to resonate with this, I have so desired to be part of a group my whole life, so desired to be part of like a best friend gang, and we're together forever, and I don't know. And not that I haven't had friend groups, but I find that I am someone who I evolve a lot. Like, again, personal development is my whole life, and it's always been very intuitive to me. I've always been drawn to living in integrity, even though I've definitely had moments where I was not in integrity. But I'm always trying to move toward that, and I've always had a strong intuition. So I know when something's wrong and when something's off, and it really bothers me and doesn't leave me alone. And so because of that, I will grow out of connections with someone who's not into growth. So I didn't know that when I was younger, but now I actually look for that if I'm going to be making a new connection, because I know if they're not really into growth, they're just kind of chilling. I know that like we're not going to be vibing together in a year from now, because I'm going to be a totally different person in a year from now. I'm going to be more me. I'm going to be even more authentically me. And so we're probably not going to be getting along anyway by then. So because I'm always evolving, I have felt alone amongst people quite often. And in addition to that, I really love vulnerable discussion. I love deep talks. I love to speak truth. I love, even though it can be hard to hear and it's hard for me to hear, but I feel way more connected to people when I'm speaking honestly. And this year, 2025, I have just been doing that nonstop. And it has created so many changes for me. So many losses of different types of relationships. Just a lot of loss, a lot of change, a lot of betrayal. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but quite a few moments of realizing that certain people actually weren't my friend at all. And I've poured years and years of time and effort into those people. Just people that didn't actually care about me the way that I thought they did. I sort of lived, I'll just be really honest with you, I sort of lived in this fairy tale that if I just effort really, really hard, then these people will like me. And I didn't let myself see these people don't like you. Like they don't hate you, but you're not in the group the way you think you are, and your efforting is making them keep you around, but it's not a match. And so, yeah, that hammer just fell on me really, really hard. And sorry that's, the specifics aren't there, but it's not only my story to tell, and I don't want to get into it too much. But so that happened, and when that hammer came down, I just started to question everything else I believed. Like, who else isn't really my friend? Who else have I built up in my mind to be something that they're not? And that got me into my whole like childhood spiral, which again, not my story to tell, so I'm not going to tell specifics, but it's kind of been a theme since I was a little kid of I feel trapped in my life and in what's going on. So I'm going to make a fairy tale world where it's what I want it to be. And I would get home from school and go into my room, and I would be in my room until my mom called me down for dinner, and I would just be in that fairy tale world and be like what I wanted my life to be. And I would just be like stuck in that. And that was kind of the only way that I could function for a lot of my childhood. And so, again, a maladaptive coping mechanism that I carried into adulthood, and this time, fantasizing other connections or the type of business that I want to have, just in so many ways. And it's been crumbling largely since 2020. So it's not that crazy anymore in the first place, but this year, definitely one of my karmic lessons, my soul contract was, this year will be the year that you fully come back to truth. And there will be no more fantasizing anything. There will only be what is actually there. And so maybe you can understand that and maybe not. If you resonate with this story, then you know how hard it is to come back to truth and reality. But one thing I feel called to share is that many of you know my cat Haji, who was like my absolute soulmate pet. She passed in May, 10 days before her birthday. And one thing that I started to become acutely aware of this year was that when I looked into her eyes, I didn't feel a full connection. I felt there was some kind of glass between us. And I felt the same with my other cat, Hermes. This is before I got Hestia. I would just feel like I'm not quite connected to them. Like there's something between us. And I would cry about this all the time. And I would beg my higher self, my spirit team, whoever, like, please help me break this glass wall, because I want to love so deeply. I want to love. And I'm a lover girl anyway, but I didn't realize that the part of me that still had one foot in the fantasy world, in the dissociated world, that was making it so that I couldn't be present here for connection. Whereas the little girl inside me, she wants the full connection to happen first, and then she can leave the fairy tale, but that's not how it happens. You have to leave your maladaptive coping and come back. Listen, I'm not a therapist, okay? I'm not a mental health professional. Please seek mental health professionals for any and all advice. I'm just giving you like my scenario here. But I was starting to realize that I need to be brave first. It's not going to be handed to me. I'm not going to be shepherded to it. I need to let go fully of where I go in my mind to feel safe. And I need to say yes to all the remaining pain that's in my body. And so now we're going to loop it back to the original thing I was talking about with ego and shadow. So that chasm between ego and shadow. So what I mean by like fully coming back to my body, I'm sinking down. I've been doing this since 2012 is when I started to like go back to therapy consistently, but 2020 is when I started EMDR or around there. And or somatic, I'll say like somatic work, like being like embodied work. 2019, end of 2019 was when I started to do that and not exclusively talk therapy. And so that taught me, oh my God, I'm totally not sitting in the body. I'm sitting like up here in my head. And so my descent has been many years now, 6 years now. And where I'm at now is I'm really realizing that the distance between the shadow and the ego is shame. And if you've listened to me, if you've been following me for a while, I used to be your soul warrior on social media. If you've been following me way back when, I've been talking about shame forever. And I'm really seeing now that the reason that chasm happens is from shame. We want to fit in. We don't want to feel out. We don't want to feel less than, so that shame is created, and then that shame rips us in two and forms one person who's front facing and then one person that's inside hiding. Oversimplified. Obviously we're all the things, but that's how it feels in my body. It feels like there's, part of me that's like down, deep, hiding. And one part that's like, I'll be the front facing, like I'll be seen by everyone. So my descent down into the self has been my ability to hold shame and to say, I don't need to feel ashamed of something that is me. Even things that I've done that I'm not proud of, shame is a natural part of the healing process, especially if you have to talk it out with somebody. So I've been really working on that a lot, and that I've been talking about on here forever. And so holding that shame is so hard. Again, please seek professional help if you're first starting that journey, because it will threaten you. I mean, it will threaten your life if you catch my drift. Like, it, depending on how severe. I had it really, really severe. Yeah, it's a whole thing. You'll know if you heard my first episode, you know. Yeah, so just depending on how bad some of these things are, just get someone to help you is all I'm saying. Okay, don't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself anyway, because that's the whole thing. Is my therapist says if it was broken in relationship, it has to be healed in relationship. So that shame created from feeling abandoned, rejected, all of those things, you actually need to connect with someone for them to show you, like, you don't need to be ashamed about this. And it's not only professional help. I've had so many people in my life this year who have helped me release shame about a lot of things, because they don't judge me for the things that I used to be judged for. And you wouldn't believe how even one person no longer judging you just sets you free. It's so crazy. So that has been my whole, like, ego death process. So the final piece to this is, and this is just my personal karmic cycle, everyone's different. But I know one thing for me is this lifetime is a cleanup life. And you might have, if you follow me on TikTok, you might have seen me making a few videos on this. If you're in a cleanup life, every single thing that you're avoiding will be brought to the light. Every single repressed whatever will be brought to the light. And it's because you have agreed to expand your container, expand your vessel this round. And you cannot expand your energy container. And what I mean by that is, when you're walking around and you see certain people that just pull you in like they are a magnet, and you can just feel like this person's got boss energy. It's not just that they randomly have it. Their soul is just, I want to say this exactly right, their energy container just literally is bigger than yours. And that's why you feel a pull toward them, because if you think about it, like our solar system, they are the sun, and maybe you're Mercury or the Earth or whatever. So because they're larger, you're naturally falling into their orbit. And it's not bad, it's not wrong, it's not anything like that, but I see that a lot. That's whenever you feel like, oh my God, I just can't stop looking at them, or I can't stop being drawn to them, or I want to like watch everything that they have and I want to hear everything that they're saying. They have a very large energy, and you're naturally, and it's because it's your time now to become as vast as them. That's why you're drawn to it. It's your time now to become. And so that's happening for me definitely in this life, of getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how you get bigger, is a piece of the shadow comes up, you welcome it back, you get rid of the shame, you reintegrate to the self. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into, again, that's not my place to give you a step-by-step. That's more, again, seek someone who can help in that way. But that is the process, is slowly showing yourself that certain things that you used to be ashamed of or are repressed in you, or even like painful memories, being able to hold pain makes you a larger energy. Being able to feel pain, to hold pain. So all this to say that this life for me, one of my agreements is that I do not run from pain any longer. And whatever imminent pain is in front of me and that I can feel, I say yes, because I know that this is going to make me even larger, and that's literally why I came here. So it's funny because when your soul mission is something kind of abstract like that, a lot of people, especially when they come to me for an Akashic record reading or an astrology reading, it's like, what's my mission? And they want it to be career based. We always think it's career based. And because that's kind of the society we grew up in, right? It's like, okay, what's my contribution to society? It's got to be career based. And sometimes your mission is literally just to get bigger, literally just to love, to be love. That's the soul mission. And every time I deliver that, people are like, wait, but like, what else? Is there anything else? And I'm like, well, you can do whatever you want it to be under that umbrella, but like, that is kind of it. Yeah. So it's different for everybody, obviously. But when you have a soul mission like that, it's hard to quantify that because, well, what do you mean? And so the final thing I want to say, and one thing that I've been doing, and one reason why I've been able to make a comeback now, is I had a moment. So I'll tell you this in more detail. I have a friend who is so love, just is love, 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 love. Like she is so loving and open. And she sent me a message last year just telling me how much she loved me. And I physically recoiled. I physically could not receive it to the level that my physical body was like, get away, get away, get away, get away. Fast forward to now, and I've been doing insane work. I'm talking like tons of EMDR and therapy and yoga and breath work and meditation and just anything you can think of, like all the things. I have been diving headfirst into this. Same friend. I reached out to her. I owe her something. I'm supposed to send her something. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to send it to you. I've just been drowning and like, it's crazy. And she texted back to me and then she sent me a voice message and she said, I'm just feeling called to say this to you. Like, I love you so much. Like, I can't even say I love you so much. And just a thought of things to that point. And I didn't even think about it. My whole body just opened and softened and I just like drank it. I drank it up. And I was like, oh my God, I really needed that. Like in my head, I was like, I really needed that. And then it took me a day. And then it kind of hit me that, oh my God, a year ago, I couldn't receive that. And now I receive it open arms, open hearted, without any practice, without any warm up, without anything. And so the reason I'm telling you that is when you know that your mission is something more abstract, we need ways to track it. We need ways to see that we are moving toward it. We are creatures. We are goal-oriented creatures. We are expansive creatures. Humans are not meant to just be chilling. Like we are designed to move forward, to do more, to expand, to achieve all those things. And again, doesn't have to be career achievement, but any type of achievement, emotional, mental, spiritual, anything. We are ever expanding. We are energy. We're always expanding. And so I don't know. I just notice things for yourself in that way. And if you don't journal, you definitely should. But notice things and write them down and reflect on them, because you will, and you probably can do it right now, have moments where you're like, oh my God, yeah, last year I never could have done that, or last year I was this way, or just take note of those things. Because yeah, sometimes the mission is something that is not quite in this material world. And so you need to take time to reflect every day to really notice it. So hopefully I have shed light on where I was, and then also just some today's messages. Podcast moving forward. We're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to cool it on the pick a card readings. I think that's what kind of burned me out. Channeling in this energy is really crazy. And so to do that like that often, plus, all my clients and all of that. So I'm going to figure out what to do. I do want to give that to you. It is fun for me and I love it. But I'm going to set myself up for success here. So I'm just going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday episodes, the daily wisdom. And then if I feel it, I'll just add in things randomly versus a schedule. That's more, I am a creature of change and shifting. And when I'm on a strict schedule, it gets really hard for me sometimes because that's just not how I operate. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday for sure. And then surprises at various times. So if you are listening, I encourage you to follow the YouTube channel because those videos will be on YouTube for you to watch. And please leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, do all the engagement things, because now, algorithm is gonna punish me now that I have been gone for so long. So thank you, as always, everyone, for your support. And thank you for everyone who DM'd me and were like, where the heck are you, woman? I so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had to just go into, I know I'm like going on and on now, but I also just felt like I want to be sitting on some kind of solid ground before I start like giving wisdom. Because otherwise I just feel like it's me jawing at you. And it's like, what am I even talking about? So I don't know. I don't think any of my past videos have been that, but the next one I was going to make, I was like, what am I even talking about? And so that's why I took a break. So I just want to deliver you content that I am proud of, that I stand behind. Sometimes I have changed my mind, but it's never been like, oh yeah, I made that video even though it was crap because I just wanted to make a video. Like, I've never done that. I don't do that. I need it to be something that I'm like, I'm really proud of that. So yeah, it might not be something I might have seen the light in certain ways or changed my mind in certain ways, but I don't like to do kind of like a half-assed thing, or I want to be proud of everything that I've done. So yeah, moving forward, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hestia, say bye. She doesn't know English. I'm sorry. Anyway, I love all of you. You can book with me at the link in the description, and see you later. Bye-bye.